And so when I entered into that space, I'm like, no, we're gonna rewrite this. Like, we're not just like the help. Like, we are empire builders. Like, we get to choose who we work with. We get to, like we have freedom of when our hours are, when and where we work, who we get to work with. So yeah, there's a lot of that.
This ain't your average healing chat. It's healing through conversations with me, Lovely Brown. Real talk, deep healing, zero fluff. Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. Please subscribe to the station. We would truly love for you to be a part of our healing and our growth, our connection. It is so important to us to create safe spaces where we're allowed to talk about the things that create growth, right? Like, yes, there are stigmas in life, but what happens when you break the stigma? What happens when you cut that generational thread that is unhealthy? You grow. And don't you want to grow with people who want to see you win in life? And it's not always about money, it's not always about aesthetics. It's really about your heart and your spirit and the connection that you make, your community. And today I get to speak to a beautiful, beautiful soul, Miss Nicole Leon. She is not only the founder of one company, well, actually, she's the founder of 4 companies, I found out today, as well as 2 community collectives and a co-founder of another one, on top of being a mom. Like, I don't think she sleeps, is what I'm telling y'all. But today's guest is the definition of strategy, soul, and execution. She is a powerhouse entrepreneur, a systems expert, and the founder of, like I said, 4, maybe 5 companies. And she's still thinking about ways to grow. But what I love about Nicole is her heart, what she wants to do, the way she wants to help grow the community for Black and Brown girls, and how she is creating a space of sisterhood, somewhere where you are allowed to ask questions, to speak about the unmentionable things, and receive honest feedback in a way that is loving, but also the way she loves her faith and the way she loves her family and her community. It is just such a beautiful thing to see. So you guys enjoy the podcast. Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. Today I get to speak to Miss Nicole Leon. I am so interested in talking to Miss Leon because I love a builder story. I had to learn how to do this thing that it may not have always been my dream, but I turned it into a really wonderful dream. And then I realized, oh, wait, if I learn how to do these 3 things, I can transfer it to anything else that I want to do. But on top of that, I can bring other women with me. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to being a Black and Brown girl, learning how to maneuver through this corporate space and then this solopreneur space and then this entrepreneur space can be a little disappointing sometimes, but when you find the right click, when you find the right people that can be in your corner who are going to cheer you on and make sure that you are not alone in this, aka her co-founder, it's such a wonderful space to grow and bring other people on with you. So Nicole, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Please introduce us to yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here tonight. I've been looking forward to this all month because, we had a little reschedule. Yeah. And in that time, you got to meet with my co-founder. So I'm really excited to be here because she had nothing but nice things to say, and I was able to tune in, and you guys really did your thing.
Thank you.
So a little bit about me. Oh my God, I always get it's like it never gets easier introducing myself, and I think that's just like a cultural thing of like playing it small, right?
No, we going big. We going
but
big.
No, we are going big. So a little bit about me. My name is Nicole Leon. I am a serial entrepreneur, like I like to say, a mom and a community builder. I have, wow, how many businesses? I have a lash business.
I counted 4 or 5. Okay, I counted 4 or 5.
I have Lash, which is a lash business. Leon Virtual Assistants, which is a virtual assistance business. I co-founded Simply Virtual, which is a virtual assistant training business with my friend Alexis. We just launched another business called The Link Up or The Link Society, and that is a networking community. I also have the Girlhood Collective, which is a community of women. And the list goes on and on. But there is a common theme, and it is that I just truly enjoy to my core to help people and help in many different ways. So, a little bit about me.
No, but see, this is what I love though, right? Like, yes, I could go on and on. However, the bridge is to be of service.
Hmm.
And I think that when we can be of service, we make it so much further along because we're collecting all of these beautiful spirits along the way. We're helping people along the way. So it doesn't always feel like this tumultuous job where we're like going into it and we don't see any reward. Like you get to see instant rewards and then you get to see a reward a couple months down the line where you've helped somebody either start a business or connect
Hmm.
with other people or really just kind of see the beauty in themselves that they may not have always seen.
Hmm.
Which would take me to I love lashes. Let me just say this. I'm on a lash hiatus right now
Me
because I
too.
had lashed myself to death. And I was like, give me a second, let me work on myself. But tell me about how did you really become an entrepreneur? What was your first step into that space?
Hmm. So really, I think I've really been about my money since I was a wee little lady. I started with selling cakes. I would bake cakes and sell them to my sister and her boyfriends and her boyfriend's friends, and that was kind of like my entryway into the entrepreneurial space. Mostly because I grew up in like a lower middle class family, and so I kind of had to do what I needed to do in order to kind of keep up.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to cause like emotional strain or any added stress to my mother's plate. So I was like, well, if I can get money on my own, I will do so. And I kind of followed through with that pretty much all through all through my life. I started working at 16. I would clean houses on the side so that I could pay my phone bill, so on and so forth. And very early on, I did know that like the college pathway was just not for me. Like that is not what I wanted. And so immediately after high school, I actually graduated early and I got my first corporate job when I was like about 18, 19, and I fell in love with it. And my goal was to climb the corporate ladder and kind of be like a high level executive. And even then, I really wanted to support, I really just envisioned myself supporting another founder and kind of help with their vision, their dream, just executing. But as you all know, being a minority woman, very quickly I was humbled. And I had to face the realities of the microaggressions, the stereotypes, the being sexualized, my character being attacked because I was, quote unquote, too emotional, too passionate, too nice, all the twos. And so, yeah,
I love that. All the
yeah,
twos.
all the twos. And just one day, I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. I hate that I'm constantly in a position of having to like question myself and my morals. Like, I don't want to have to abandon my morals in order to get ahead. So anyway, bridging that to the lash story, I would get my lashes done, and it was by another minority woman. And I'm like, hey, how can I get into this? Because I'm very curious. Like, how much do you make? How often are you doing this? And she broke it down for me. And literally within that week, I created an Instagram account. I started an LLC all before I even got my certification because I was like, I am ready for change. And it just made sense mathematically. I was like, oh, if I do X amount of people and this, like I will have enough side money to build whatever my next business is going to be. And that was cute because I really thought that that business was going to be just like what was going to fund the next big business.
But I love
um,
that. I love how big brain you were thinking at the time.
yeah. Yeah. So then within the year, I actually was able to quit my full-time job. And I scaled it to six figures. And yeah, 7 years later, here we are. And it was just an incredible journey. I have now since pivoted to education only. So teaching women how to become lash techs and how to scale their businesses, showing up online, how to price, how to market themselves. But wow, that business really like changed the game for me.
No, I love that. And I love that you I'm always interested in the climb, right? Because we see online these people who are like, and then I just made $1 million. And you're like, but there had to be a moment where you said, am I going to eat? Can I afford to pay my bills? Do I really want to do this job? And like you said, especially within spaces that don't really address cultural competency,
Hmm.
how if you're you can be quote unquote halfway appealing, but as a woman with any kind of body parts at this point, depending on where you are, it's being sexualized, but not in the way I always think to myself, if I'm sexualizing myself, no, I shouldn't, but it's still me. I want to be pretty.
Hmm.
I want to feel good about myself. I want to show that I have my self-esteem is big. Good.
Right.
But there's a certain space within the corporate world where everybody stops listening to you talk about the harassment and then they turn on you. Like
Yeah.
you become the reason
Now
why.
you're the problem. Yeah.
Yes. And my thought when you were talking was, I love how you didn't let that rock you to your core. You were like, okay, so maybe I can take this thing and figure it out. Let me look around. What things do I love to do that I do get done all the time that I can make work for me? And that's why I love the sectionality of beauty and fashion and that market, because anybody, it doesn't matter who you are, anybody, whatever you love to do, you can figure out a way to make it work for you. So I love
Exactly.
that it unleashed something in you versus trying to hold you down. And for me, that's like,
Oh yeah.
let's work it out. So what made you decide to flip into education?
So about 2 years in, I just realized that a lot of people were curious or like how at that point I was marketing a lot on social media and showing that like I get to go on vacations and like I get to work from home essentially because I had an in-home studio. And I think just the concept of someone like leaving the stability of a 9 to 5 job was very appealing to people. And I had a lot of inquiries like, I want to learn what you do. Like, how do I get into this space? So I actually put myself through school early on, actually within that same year, because I had the intent to do this anyway. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make sure that I had not only my certification, but my license to be a licensed esthetician so that I had the credentials that I needed to get into the education space. And so when that time came, like I finally felt like, okay, I've done this for a year, 2 years, like I am ready to now educate because I've been in the field, I know what it takes. And so I got into that space. And it was more so about like giving women or providing women the opportunity to have that freedom of time, freedom of choice. And yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that one of the things that when I always call it research because it's not stalking people, it's just called research, it's called research. I love how you are really taking a front row seat with regards to the Black and brown women that you are trying to help and
Yeah.
how that looks in this landscape. Can you talk about that as well?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. And I'm from South Florida, so we're a melting pot here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize a lot of what happens outside of like my sphere until I got a little bit older and started immersing myself when, you go to other states, you start awakening, you just have like an awakening. And really corporate America also played a huge role in that, in me
Yes,
realizing
it
like,
does.
oh, wait, like I am different, and I'm treated different. And I'm white passing, so people who are not white passing are even treated even worse.
Yeah.
So, so also seeing my mom struggle the way she did, like growing up and not having like crazy opportunities, like I just really wanted to make sure that I was cutting that. I'm like, I want to break these generational curses. Like, I want to break the cycle, and I want to be heard, be seen. But not only for that, for me, I want to uplift my community as well. Like I want to create spaces where women like us, Black, Brown, are able to really just make a good living, be happy, have freedom, like I said, not be oppressed by like, oh my gosh, the man.
Soldier.
Yeah.
Soldier. Soldier. Look, we just want to put the period there. Go like,
Yeah.
you heard what I said. You heard what I said.
Yeah. So it's just important to me that we all have like those opportunities and the chances that, people that are white and white passing are awarded just by simply existing. And so yeah, that is has a key, role in everything that I've done. Um, and the beauty industry, especially, I think like changing the stigma, right? Because it's like,
Yes.
oh, only like minority women, right? Asians, Black, Browns do nails or hair or makeup. And it was kind of like, I don't know, frowned upon. Like I feel like it wasn't really what it is now. And it kind of gave like the health kind of
Yes.
stigma, right? And so when I entered into that space, I'm like, no, we're gonna rewrite this. Like, we're not just like the help. Like, we are empire builders. Like, we get to choose who we work with. We get to, like we have freedom of when our hours are, when and where we work, who we get to work with. So yeah, there's a lot of that too.
I love that. And how did motherhood change your outlook on entrepreneurship?
Oh man. It's changed it completely because I mean, entrepreneurship for me it was a lot about me. It was a lot about my family, a lot about my community, but it like stopped there. I'm like, and I feel like, yeah, I'm like, oh, if I fail, like I fail my community, but there's nothing like having a child and being like everything that I do is for my child and what I want to leave him. So yeah, it's definitely made the hustle and the drive I've taken it to a whole other level because I have someone to really do it for. And yeah, of course, obviously, like I said, I was doing it for myself and for my community and for my family. But there's nothing like when you're doing something for your child. Like, yeah.
Look, I tell people all the time, I have three children, one grandbaby, and I am obsessed with them. And I don't care who, like when people are like, no, but your children, I don't care. They're all in their 20s, and I am still a bit of a mom. And not
Yeah.
even in like, but I think it's because I feel so honored that they still allow us to be in their lives. Like, I think the great thing about becoming an adult is you get to decide who you want to be in your life. And
Yep.
then you get to build your own community. But to have your children want you to be in their community is a different look than you forcing yourself on them. So,
Right.
like, that's what I love the most about the kids, especially then they keep me a little bit young because I'm still getting
Hmm.
older. Like, it's what it is. But can we talk about like not to pivot, but really just I love your idea of helping women build spaces that allow them to be the CEOs, the founders of their companies, and to give
Hmm.
them that financial freedom that they're looking for. So, like, when you started creating your communities, can you talk about how you incorporated those different perspectives into your communities?
Hmm. Um, I would say that I have leveraged social media like no other. I do not play about social media. I actually was able to scale all my businesses the way that I have off of solely organic, authentic reach, like being honest, including my community, talking to them like if I'm talking to someone that I've known my entire life. But really like the role that I have given myself is the role of like the big sister. And I just show up and like I said, I'm authentic, I'm real, and I have the conversations that people don't want to have. I say the things that people are thinking but are too afraid to say. And I also have like the tough love element where I'm like, you're not gonna get what you want sitting there complaining about it. So what are you gonna do? There is a lot of that because in all reality, I have not been handed anything in my life. So I've had to work really hard. I don't have a backup plan. I am the backup plan.
You are the backup plan. I
Yeah.
love that's a t-shirt moment. I am the
Yeah.
backup plan.
So there's a lot of that, like just being real about what this journey looks like. And I don't sugarcoat it. Like, yes, and it looks great, right? On the outside, for like someone on the outside looking in, it's like, oh my God, especially when you have like new followers or like her life, like she gets to do this, she gets to do that, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, do you even know how much it's taken for me to get here and the loss and the sleep loss and all the stress? Like it's not, butterflies and rainbows all the time. It is very rewarding. I would not change a thing. But yeah, just a lot of like the real, honest, hard conversations. And I think that's allowed space for people to trust. Like I have built an area and a space of trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is so important, especially in this like digital world. I think that being able to have your community trust you, and you're good and you're bad, because we all fall. We all have moments where we slip, but we also have these moments where, like you said, if you are the big sister, you know your big sister going to yoke you up if you're wrong. Like
Yep.
she's going to pull you up, but also she going to hype you up. She
Yep.
going to let you crash out too. Go ahead and crash out. But
Yep.
I'm just letting you know that when you finish crying, you need to fix your face because you don't look good when you're crying, and I need you to get yourself together.
Exactly.
And that is like, I love being, I always tell people, I'm the auntie. Like, I'm going to tell you the stuff that you didn't get to hear, but I'm not nice. I'm kind. Like, I'm going to make sure you eat.
Yes, that's big.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't do small talk well. It sounds very robotic. Like, how are you
Mm-hmm.
today? Would you like something to drink? I'm not that girl. I'm like, go in the kitchen to get something to drink. We're going to sit down and talk about it. Let's figure it out. Like, that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the best thing ever. What what was it like to take that lash business into the digital space, and how did you become partners with Alex, who I love her. She is just such
She's
a
the
sweet
best.
person.
Yeah. So, okay. So a little backstory there. My sister, who I have a big sister, who I attribute so much of my success to because my God, I would be lost without my sister. She has been in the legal realm for over 20 years as a legal assistant. And so I believe I'm on year 3 with this business now. So anyway, post-COVID, she was looking to pivot because she had to go back into the office and she didn't want to. And a lot of people got used to working from home. And when they're like, okay, everyone can go back to work now, a lot of people had a big like awakening of like, oh wait,
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I don't want to
Yeah.
go back.
I don't want to
Uh,
go. Yeah.
yeah, so I had already been, I think I was in year 5, if not year 4 of being self-employed. And she came to her little sis, which is, I love saying that, like, oh, my big sister came to me for advice. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've gotten used to having ownership of my time, being able to pick up the kids, work out, like, just have a whole routine. And now I have to go back to an office 9 to 5. Like, Nicole, what do I do? I'm like,
Mm.
girl, what are you saying? Like, literally, you have the experience, you have the network, like, freelance, freelance your work. Like, you are a legal assistant. Okay, great. You are now a legal assistant as a contractor. So within the same year, she launched her virtual assistants business. I launched mine. It was like a sister initiative. We
Oh.
have the same middle initial, and obviously we have the same excuse me, the same maiden last name. So I'm like, listen, I'll do L Leon virtual assistants. And whenever the time comes that we want to join forces, I already have the business name so that we can have a sister business. That has not happened yet. Hopefully soon. But so I would just take clients on the side, little data entry, clients here and there because I noticed that I really missed like the work that I did in corporate America. Because lashing, it's a whole different world. Like, yes, there's all of the like running a business elements, but like it's like therapy. There's a
Absolutely.
huge energy exchange. It is physically taxing on the hands, on the wrists, on your back. And so I started noticing a shift of like, I don't know if I'm losing the passion or if like just there's just something on the horizon. And so I was like, let me just start doing something different on the side. And so that actually ended up blowing up just because it's a small world and people are like, oh, well, Nicole just started doing this. Do you need someone? And all referral based. Both businesses have been like strictly like referral based. And so fast forward to pregnancy, I got pregnant and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to last while I'm pregnant, and it's going to be a little bit harder to do when I have a newborn. So I basically just switched. I flip-flopped. So my last business became the side business, and the virtual assistants business became the primary business. And then that being on that road had, basically led me to Alexis. And Alexis thing was a God ordained thing for sure. We were like not even meant to be in the place that we were that day. We were going to a conference and other people like fell through. So we ended up in a car together. And it literally was just a random question that she asked of like, do you want to teach people how to become virtual assistants? And we just looked at each other and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why do you? And just like that, within the week, we're like, okay, let's have a strategy session. And we launched our business. And wow, that has been huge. We both have a heart for people, a heart for service. And it's just so rewarding. There's nothing like, especially when you're helping moms, single moms, uh, grasp something and give them the opportunity, the tools to create opportunities for themselves. Like there is nothing like that.
See, these are the stories that I love, right? Because it's the connector pieces, it's the sisterhood that you guys have created. I love the story about your sister because I felt that in my whole spirit because I'm in the legal realm in my mornings. So I understand when they said come back, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not wasting my gas to come see you guys. Like, it's so much. I'm like, it's not always just the freedom. It's the not freedom is in time. It's the mental space. It's
Yep.
knowing that these are the things that I love to do. And also the spirit that is like around you
Yep.
when you're able to build the life that you want to build for yourself.
Yep.
But kudos to your sister because I'm with you, sis. Me and you, we're still trying to figure out what to do. I know
Yes.
it's just a crazy space. Um, can you talk about Girlhood Collective and the healing that's happening in that space?
Oh my gosh. So another just another passion project of mine. I found myself, and just as a backstory, I've been on social media since I was like 12 years old. So I have some of the same followers from when I was like 12 years old. Now I'm 31. And people have seen me through so many seasons. But I found myself kind of saying a lot of the same things in different ways to different people. And I was just being asked a lot of the same questions. And there's a common theme. And the common theme is lack of confidence, like lack of trust in self, lack of like a direction, like clear direction, lack of sisterhood. That is a huge one. And so I'm like, I was driving up to a conference. It was for work with my son, my boyfriend, and my mom. And I don't know, I was just sitting in the car. I'm like, I want to start a group chat, like a broadcast channel where it's kind of like my diary. But the whole intent is to one, be raw and honest about the things that I'm going through, but also encourage, uplift, provide resources. And so I just started it. And from one day to the next, it was like there was 300 people. Right now, I think I have like 400 or 500. And it just took off. Like the things, the topics, the healing, people responding, like, you have no idea how much I needed to hear this. And it there's nothing like that group chat, let me tell you. Like the things that people confide in me with, just by me sharing, like, I'm having a really bad day. I feel worthless today. Like things that people don't want to say out loud. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like a bad mom today. Like I didn't do great in XYZ. My body, like I don't like the way that I look today. Or also the highs, like the wins, like, oh my God, I just landed this huge client. Or I just took 2 minutes to pray and really thank God and whatever. And then 5 minutes later, like I had this crazy revelation, like real life conversations, and proving to women that like we can lock arms. Like that is huge for me. Like I don't believe in competition. I just don't. I am a girl's girl for life. I'm a power connector. And so I just hate the idea that like women have and I mean, it's common, like, the cattiness, we're in competition. We feel like there's not enough room for all of us to be in the same room. And so I really wanted to create a space where people could feel safe and comfortable to share and learn and grow. And also know that like not every girl is created equal. Like we're all different and some of us actually really care about each other. So yeah, that's what that chat is like. A lot of sisterhood, girlhood.
I love it. I love it. And I think that I tell my husband, he'll like when I leave, well, after we finish, he'll say, so what was the bridge today? right? Like, because every podcast I do, I look for the bridge from the last podcast to this podcast, and also just in my personal growth, because I'm like, you guys helped me grow. That's why I do this podcast, because it was really a way for us to connect and break stigmas and look at each other in a more holistic light. Like, okay, yes, I could white, black, Puerto Rican. But at the end of the day, if we're all crying because we're looking for connection, if we're all crying because we're looking for a way to express ourselves, if we're all crying because we're going through this one problem together, how different are we? How, like you say, how better are you than I am at this point? Because we're all crying about the same thing. We all need the same kind of love and
Yep.
connection. It's just a different language that we're looking for in order to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am such a, like, I always tell people, I'm a girl's girl, GWORL, because I will hype you up. You'll be outside like, yeah. I'm like, we're just gonna go have fun. We're gonna have to have fun, babe. That's all we're doing. But dress your body, wear it, wear the furs, wear the feathers, do the things, because we have one life in this spiritual body, and why not, like, be feel blessed? It love the body that you've given. Take the blessings that you have. Don't block yourself from
Right.
receiving that love. And I know it can be scary. Like you said,
Yeah.
when you have a low self-esteem, a lack of trust, when you're looking for connection, you can sometimes feel like a person who is positive in your life is trying to knock you down, or like waiting for the shoe to drop,
Right.
because we've watched so many relationships fall from peaches, or like lighting, or something
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But that's why I love doing this, because I get to talk to other women who are girls, like, who just
Yeah.
want to see each other grow. And to me, like, why wouldn't you want to align with a good sisterhood? Like, something that
Yes.
people who
Mhm.
want to pray over you in the most positive way possible, but people who want to praise you in the most positive way possible too.
Yes.
And I think that that's such a good thing. Like, talk about your faith and how that plays a part in what you do and how you live.
Oh man. The other day, I got a mention in Forbes, and that was a huge thank
Congratulations on
you,
that
thank
one.
you. It was a huge win. And I was sitting and I was just, thanking everyone for the support and crying and talking about all this stuff. And then I got back on camera. I'm like, and oh my God, I completely forgot to say, thank you, God. Like, thank you, God, because your mercy, your love, your grace, this is why I'm here today. This is why I'm awarded with the opportunities that I am. And I have chills saying that because it's the honest truth. And it's important to me. I don't want to be like a radical. I don't want to be one of those that people don't want to be around me because I push them away with my beliefs. So instead of doing that, I just live my values, and I live Christian values, and I let that speak for itself. And the conversations that have happened of like, oh, but I'm XYZ, and you're Christian, and I'm like, okay, so we can't be friends. I can't support you, uplift you, love you. Like, what? Um, and so like it's played a major role in not only my success, but like the relationships that I have with people, um, just so many elements of my life, because I just genuinely love like Jesus. I try to live like Jesus as much as I can. Obviously, I'm gonna fall short. So there's an F-bomb here and there, and there's a crash out here and there, but
Hey, hey, I tell people, I said, something, you might get holy, Lisa, or you might get ratchet, Lisa. My husband was like, holy ratch. I am a holy ratch all day, every day. It depends. I could pray with you, or I could twerk on your lap. I don't
yes,
know. It's some days I try to work on myself. I try to be
yes,
good. No, I
yes.
love that. I so love that. And I love that you have this. I was having a conversation with, I can't remember. I was having a conversation with one of my guests, and they were like, I'm Christian, and they stopped. I was like, no, 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 no. We claim all the things. We
Yeah,
claim all the things, because when you block that word, when you decide to, like, minimize your belief system, it blocks something in you. And now I'm not going to get the 100% you that you would be, because you're trying to think to yourself, should I say that? Should I not say
right.
that? And no, this is a safe space. We talk about all the
Yeah.
things, because I'm like, I tell people all the time, I know where my blessings come from. I know where they come from. Again, I don't have to tell you where your blessings come from because you may have
Yeah.
a whole different space, but we're here to uplift each other. Like there's no reason for me to put you down because we're not reading out of the same book. We're still trying to get to the same place.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's what, people are always like, leave religion out of it, leave whatever. But on my website, when you go to About Me, my core values, my mission statement, it's all in alignment with my Christian values. And it says that outright because one, I'm not ashamed of who I am and what my values are. And if a potential client of any kind is deterred by that, then we're not right for each other because I don't care what your views are. As long as you're a good person, listen, we can coexist. Like, I have no problem. So I just care about how you treat me and how you treat others. Like, that speaks volumes to me.
And I am a big believer in reputation of self, how you present yourself, and that has nothing to do with aesthetics. That has everything to do with the energy, how you shift the energy when you walk into a space.
Yep.
The people who smile when you come into a room. Like I pay attention to all of those things because if I want to talk to someone, I want your energy to be healing. I've already had enough negative energy. I know what that feels like. I'm past that place in my life. But having people who absolutely not only rain positive energy on you, but people that you aren't afraid to have pray for you. It makes such a big difference because people can pray for your downfall the
Oh,
same
yeah.
way they can pray to lift you up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, let's not do that to each other. Let's not do that to each other. I do want to talk about balance and burnout because that was a really big thing that you really focus on helping moms be able to do that. So can we talk about that for a little bit?
Of course. Of course.
So tell me about like how you have balanced or integrated. Let's talk about that. Integrated. How have you integrated your work and life together so that you have more you have more energy to give your son and not only that to be around your friends and family.
Yeah. Right now, complete transparency, I'm not doing a great job. But with that comes opportunity, right? So prior to the season that I'm in now, things were going great. I had a good flow going. But my business grew really fast. The L Leon virtual assistants, it blew up. And as a solopreneur, you're not gonna say no to opportunity. Like very rarely will someone say no. But then very quickly I was like, oh wow, now I'm like forced into a corner where I'm gonna have to say no. So I'm either going to have to accept that I am hitting a certain ceiling that I'm not going to be able to break through as a solopreneur, or I'm going to have to scale this as an agency. So I'm currently in the middle of doing I wouldn't say a rebrand, but definitely a transition in to making this more sustainable for me so I can be more present. Because the whole reason why I started this journey of entrepreneurship was to have freedom of time. And then when the baby came, I had the luxury of staying with him. And that was important to me. I know that's not important for everyone, or they're just not, they don't have that luxury. But I didn't have to choose between putting him in daycare and my job. I was able to stay with him, work with him here. But then very quickly, between the workload increasing and him walking, that got pretty chaotic pretty fast. And
Yeah.
so I am currently in, like I said, a season of transition where I'm like, okay, I need to recenter and, remind myself, why did I start this? I started this so that I could have time. And now that I have a son, it's more important than anything. Time is more important than anything when you have kids. And so I think if I can impart any advice is that to remember like why you started. Why did you start? Because you can get caught up and then you can end up you're basically in a 9 to 5 again. If not, you're like in a 9 to 9
Yeah.
in this entrepreneur
Yeah.
journey. So, but obviously, like there are some times throughout the weeks where I'm better at it than others, and things like non-negotiables are important to me.
Absolutely.
Once that phone's on D&D, that's it. Like, I mean business if my phone's on D&D. I actually have a Sabbath D&D that I put on so that I do not work during those hours. It's solely for recharging, solely for my family. And I'm big on like, okay, mama's tired, she's worked a lot, it's nap time. And I'm big on naps.
You're speaking my language. I'm like, you leave me alone too long. Where did she go? I'm like, two things you don't do for me. You don't say, hey, you want to run home real quick and then we'll meet back up? I'm never coming back out. It's
Yep.
not going to ever happen. And if I take my bra off, we're never going to meet up. It's
Yep.
never
It's
going to happen.
over.
I'm like, if the minute my feet touch the bed and I rub my feet together,
Oh, yes.
you shouldn't even talk to me because I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do that. But I love your honesty because I think in entrepreneurship and solopreneurship, we have this superhero cape that we try to wear because one, you're doing so many jobs because
Yeah.
you're, especially if you're in a space where you're learning how to do all of these things on your own, kind of on the fly. And as you fail forward and learn new lessons, because that's what failure is, we're just learning lessons. Um, and you pick it up, you're like, okay, so the next time that happens, I know to do this, but you never delegate because delegating your baby is like,
Yeah. It's hard.
it is very hard. But I think that that's where I really enjoyed the idea of the virtual assistant and how you guys have created this really niche space that's really starting to blow up. Because I remember when right before COVID happened and the virtual assistants were out and people were like, what is that? This has to be spam.
Right.
This has to
Hmm.
be spam. Like, what are you talking about? I send you my work and then you're going to give it back to me. Well, what happens if you use my work, you know? And
Yeah.
I think during COVID, that's when it was like,
Oh, yeah.
I need help. Help me not lose my mind. But tell us just a little bit more and how they can get in contact with you, what your virtual assistance businesses, and what just give them an idea of the line of work that you do, like what the objective is.
Yeah. So with Leon Virtual Assistants, I help entrepreneurs of any business, any size, gain back their time. That is like my motto. I help you so that you can get back to the things that one are more impactful and two that you enjoy doing. And so I just, if you are listening and you're a business owner and you're like, I am stuck in like this rat race of just task ticking, and I can't focus on my high impact areas, please be in communication with me. And if we find that we're not a good fit for whatever reason, which is highly unlikely, I have a network of virtual assistants that I can connect you with because me and Alexis have trained them. So that's the beauty in that is that not only am I able to assist business owners, but I'm also able to assist other business owners that help business owners. So yeah, so you can connect with me at my website, which is NicoleLeon.co, or you can send me an email at lleonvirtualassistance.com, and we can get on a discovery call and talk about all the things that I can do for you so that you can get your time back.
This I took a pause because I have moments when I'm doing a podcast where I'm so proud of people. And this is our first conversation. Like we've been kind of emailing each other, but I love watching people. I love watching the light hit a person's eyes. And your light came out when you talked about the collective, when you talked about your son, and when you talk about helping business owners, which is all service based ideas. Like
Yep.
sometimes when you are a servant of your calling, it can be taxing and overwhelming because you're like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
Lord, like how am I going to get this done? Thank you for giving me that dream in the middle of the night, but where do you think it's going to happen? Like in between what time and what time? Because you gave
Yep.
me another dream 2 days ago, and like I'm trying to do that dream. So that's why when you say, how many businesses do I have? I'm like, I love that they're still all so servant connected
Yeah.
and that your heart is open to whatever comes its way because
Yeah.
it can be scary out here. Like you're like, what are we really doing? How are we really going to make this work? And is it something that is it feasible? Right?
Mhm.
Because I think, look, what I'm really trying to say is I love that you are volleyballing other women and other business owners Like, hey, I can make it, you can make it, we can all make it, and then we can go on
Oh
vacation
yeah.
together.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. But my last question is, if you could say, like, give advice to a new mom who's out there trying to figure out what to do. She's bogged down. She's trying to figure out how to like really make this life her own. What advice would you give her?
Oh man, there's so much advice. But I think what I would say is definitely take it one step at a time. And I know it sounds so cliche, but all of these things, like all of the things that I've accomplished by taking it one step at a time. And one small step. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Because women, especially, like we're like, we don't want to do it unless it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But done is better than perfect. I will say
Yes.
that all day.
Yes.
Done is better than perfect. I would much rather, and this is something that we've spoken with our students about, is like every single duck does not have to be perfectly aligned. As long as you're positioning yourself and like accepting that like one, I'm deserving, and two, I'm worth it and I can do this, you're already halfway there. Like you have to believe. So I think that I would definitely say that like believe that you can do it first. Like know and have the conversations with yourself. Like I can do this. I'm worth it. And then maybe the other part is like take some time. Take a little, if it's 10 minutes, I know how hard it is as a new mom, to get some time in, but even if it's 10 minutes to really just jot down some of your goals and your dreams, and some tasks that you can do, small ones, big ones. But like I said, it takes just one small step at a time, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
I love that. Or you could just join the Girlhood Collective
Yes.
and you can talk to Nicole on a consistent basis because
Hmm.
we all need safe spaces to where we can be who we are and ask questions and know that everybody has your best dreams, your highest hearted, in their minds because it could be scary out here. We all know.
Yeah.
But it's
Mhm.
okay because you have people out here who are really praying for they're praying for your level up. And that is to me the best thing ever. So,
Yes.
oh, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for all you're doing in the Black and Brown community, but for women and people who are really just trying to figure this out because you'll be figuring it out. I'm 49 and I'm still figuring it out, but having sisterhood makes it so much easier to do.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so
So
much for having me. It's been a blast.
thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
So, guys, I told you that she to me is just a beautiful, bright spirit. And I love when I talk to other women who are their hearts don't know how to not bleed sisterhood. It makes such a big difference. But what I loved the most about her was her connection to her faith and how she is taking her mission and her vision and really connecting that space of womanhood, sisterhood, community, and showing you how to not only free up the space with time, but free up your mind so that you allow yourself to ascend higher and higher, not only in your faith, but in your career and in your family spaces, your community. And to me, that's girl boss moves right there. It just she was such a sweetie pie and she's so pretty. And I mean that in like both ways. Like outside, yes, beautiful, but like pretty on the inside because like pretty and pink is what I would say. Y'all couldn't see, but like she had a little heart on, which also almost matched my color. And that was not planned. I was like, you know what? We were supposed to talk tonight. I love it. And you guys be good. Remember, we're learning how to articulate our feelings, wants, needs, and desires. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. And remember, guys, we are learning how to articulate our feelings, wants, needs, and desires so we can better advocate for the people that we love. And we'd love for you to be a part of our community. So, like, share, follow, subscribe, send it to somebody who you know is interested in growth and sisterhood, because I'm going to support you. I'm going to get on your nerves. I'm going to big you up, okay? Don't make me repost your video. Don't make me put it in my stories. Make me do it. Make me do it. I love it. I love it. Y'all be good. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found some healing, connection, and joy. Until next time, bye, loves.